I was literally sick to my stomach. Like I knew I was about to make one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. And I just remember sitting at the desk and I was like, I literally felt like I wanted to vomit. But fast forward 1 year later, I'm living a much different life. I'm so much happier. I have so much less stress in my life and I have a lot more freedom to enjoy the things I want to do. In this video, I want to cover 3 reasons on why you shouldn't be scared to quit your job, especially if you're young. I gave up a 6-figure plus salary working for a famous billionaire influencer because I was pretty much miserable going into work every single day for almost 2 whole years. And it's not necessarily the job or the people or the workplace I was at, it was something more internal. Now, if you're having a similar experience as to what I went through, stick around, I think I can help you. So reason number 1 on why you shouldn't be scared to quit your job is you realistically need to try a bunch of things to figure out what you're actually good at and what you like. I feel like nowadays everyone has so much pressure to graduate college, figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life, and immediately find a career that they're going to do for the next 45 years. Let me ask you something. Do you think that's realistic? Take my situation, for example. I graduated May 15th and I had a job June 1st, only 2 weeks later. So I really didn't have time to think about what I wanted to do or what I actually wanted to do. I just ended up getting a job working for someone famous. I thought it was going to be a cool gig, which it was. But as time went on, I realized this is not what I want to be doing. I got an investor relations position and I was on the phone every single day in a salaried position where my check was the same every single month. And for me, that just wasn't a good fit. What I suggest is you should try at least 2 to 3 jobs before you actually can say, hey, I'm actually good at this, or I enjoy doing this. You need to try multiple experiences, or like Gary Vee says, try different shit to figure out what fits best for you. I ended up quitting my job 2 years later and going full-time into my business that I was already running. So for someone like me, I just knew working for someone else really wasn't a good fit for me because I couldn't strive in that environment, where now I'm working for myself, making videos like this, running my business day to day, and I'm much more happy. I have a lot less stress and I have more freedom to do more stuff. That is what works for me personally. Now, I'm not saying going to work for someone is completely horrible. You can make a lot of money in the right position doing the right job, especially if you like it and you're good at it. So the second reason you shouldn't be scared to quit your job is if you're not progressing financially, mentally, or educationally, you really shouldn't be there. You have no reason to be at that job. What makes a really good job is if the company actually invests in their employees, they train them on the skill that they're learning, or they train them on finances. That's a good place to work. Luckily, the place I work did both of those things. That's why I stayed there for so long, because I was getting trained on money. I was getting trained on real estate. I was getting trained on how to do sales. I was learning while I was there. So if you're at a job and they're not teaching you anything, no one's helping you, you're just showing up to work every day and doing a boring job, there's no reason you should be there. And if you're at a job that just has a salary that has no incentive tiers to make more money, that's another reason you shouldn't be there. I think most people should have some sort of commission structure, a bonus structure to incentivize them to do better at what they're doing. So for example, like if you're a content creator for a company, they should have an incentive tier for, hey, if you get us 10,000 followers, we're going to pay you X amount. If you get us to 30,000 followers, we're going to pay you an X amount. So if your company doesn't do any of those things for you, you shouldn't be there because you're not growing as an individual. Like I said, financially or mentally, you're not broadening your skill base. So you're not getting better as a person. So don't be afraid to leave that job and go and try something else. And number 3, the last reason you shouldn't be scared to quit your job is I promise you, the world will not end if you quit your job. Realistically, what is the worst case scenario if you leave your job today? I want you to do an exercise where you map out the pros and cons and say, if I leave my job, I will no longer make X amount of money. I will no longer have relationships with these people. I will no longer do this. And then on the flip side, I might have the opportunity to start that YouTube channel I wanted to start. I might have an opportunity to start my new business. I'll have more time to work on my side hustle. So really map out the pros and cons of leaving the current job you're in and just take that leap of faith. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I was sick to my stomach and it was one of the hardest decisions I had ever made because I'd basically become family with the team I was working with. I really loved the people. I really loved the company, but it just wasn't a good fit for me because I knew I kind of hit my cap growing as a person, both mentally, educationally, and financially. And what I did was I sat down and I said, hey, worst case scenario, I leave this job. I go into my business failed. What is the worst thing that can happen? I could just go get another sales job and go make $100,000 or $200,000. It's not the end of the world. I promise you, you're going to feel so much more relieved. It's like the weight of the world will be lifted off your shoulders. I was thinking about this decision probably over a year before actually sitting down with my boss and saying, hey man, it's time for me to quit. So if you're going through something similar, I promise your world can change if you just take that leap of faith, go with your your gut and quit that job you don't want to be at anymore. If you're in a position right now where you have no idea how you can actually quit your job, I suggest picking up a side hustle. And in this video right here, I go over the pros and cons of the most popular side hustles that you can try. If you got some value, like and subscribe, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.